Okay, students, we're going to do the 10 weeds for this week. I'm going to try to tape them in groups of 5. I also will be putting up a practice quiz for this week. It's 10 weeds, so you can see how that helps you for studying, since we all kind of had a rude awakening with the first quiz. Oh, great, the microphone. Oh, there. I didn't think it, I thought it went off. Testing. Okay. So the first weed is horseweed. It is number 11 on your list. Okay, and in your text, it is on pages 124 and 125. Okay, so this one is an annual spread by seed, so you should write down AS under that. The leaves are highly pubescent, and if you look in the textbook here, your picture on page, whoops, sorry guys, picture on page 125, there goes my book, is not as representative as it could be. When you look at that rosette, you should have a lobe on either side at the point, and it's much more dense. I will show you a picture of it, or I will actually give you a real live plant here to look at in just a little bit. So sorry about dropping all my notes here. Okay, the leaves are sessile on the upright stem. Okay, and when the stem goes up, if you look on page 124, which I'll back off over here and look at this, you can see the stem is very straight and all the leaves come off of that. They describe it as being like a power pole stem. So when you see it out in the nature, when you're looking at it, you'll see this very straight stem with the leaves coming off of it like that. Okay, so the seeds actually on this, so you can see it's got yellow flowers. Notice how condensed they are. They're actually born at the stem terminals, and the flowers don't actually come out until midsummer on this particular annual. But they have a parachute, like a bunch of hairs on the end of it, just like you'd get with dandelion or groundsel. Okay, groundsel is a lot more fuzzy. So, and I'll show you what the seed looks like here in just a second. Okay, so let's go to looking at the plant itself. Okay, this is horseweed, your annual. You can see what I mean about the lobes. Okay, and it is fairly pubescent. Okay, so if we let's look at this live sample itself here. Okay, and if I zoomed in enough here, you can see there's hairs all along the stems and on the leaves. Okay, and again, you can see the toothing at the end of the stems to the rosette. Okay, it's much different than what was in the textbook itself. And then when it becomes an adult, it's like when it grows up, right? That's a good one. Oh God. Okay, so this is what the leaves are going to look like when it grows up. Okay, so you can see that the leaves are sessile on the stem. Okay, they're directly on the stem itself. Those lights, again, are causing me a problem, aren't they? Okay, so you can see the leaves are directly on the stem, and it's just one big tall, so there's no flowers on this stem at this point. And I've got my taproot at the bottom. Okay, so that's the first one. Oops, I forgot the seed. Let me talk about the seed for that, so you can see what the pappus looks like. Okay, so see how fuzzy it is? Just like with the dandelion. Let's see if I can get that. There you go. Okay, so if you look at the top where the label is, you can see the little seed with the hairs on the end of it. there's going to be a few that are fairly similar. The seed for the horseweed is a little bit longer and narrower, just a little bit bigger than what we have with dandelion as well. Okay, horseweed. Okay, your second weed for this week is going to be Persian speedwell. Okay, so let me look on my list. Persian speedwell is number 16 on your list, and it's on page 552 in your text. So let's bring that up. Okay, so Persian speedwell, and here we can see what it looks like out in the field. Yeah, why don't you turn the one off right over me here, so you can figure out what that is. For the screen, but it's not for me. Oh, you know what? Leave the one over me on, because it really, yeah, that's better. Okay, thanks. What I have to do is kind of lift the page up a little bit for them. Some of the students are in here with me. We're trying to make it better for you to look at this. I'll go down. Basically, I was trying to, can you see how it spreads out? It creeps. Okay, so again, when we look at Persian speedwell, it's an annual spread by seed. And this spreading pattern, as you see in the book, that's what's meant by being prostrate. Okay, it spreads out very flat, okay, and it doesn't get very tall at all. I mean, if it gets over an inch tall, that's probably pretty good. Okay, this weed is a very significant problem in perennial systems because it drops a lot of seed. So if you're not going to be tilling it up, that seed will be on the top, and it will basically grow fairly quickly. If we look over on page 553, it has the it's got two speedwells in here. That's better here. Okay, so the Persian speedwell's on the right, and the ivy leaf is on the left. Okay, but I need to tell you there are over 200 different types of speedwells. So we're only looking at, 1 to 2 at the most. Okay, and the flower is a very bright blue. You can see that in the text on page 553. And if you look over here right to the, whoops, I hit the camera with my, if you look right here, here is the seed pod, okay, the fruit. And you can see how hairy it is. Okay, it has lots of hairs around the outside of the seed pod on the Persian speedwell. Okay, let me see if I've forgotten anything. Usually you're going to see these in patches 12 to 18 inches in diameter. They're going to concentrate in areas. And I'm going to come to the mounts of the Persian speedwell. The main thing is to look for the teeth. See, you can see here it's got a base, the one base with it spreads out. Okay, so it lays down. Some of the other ones we're going to see that do this are some of the knotweeds and some of the other Asteraceae families. Okay, so mainly look at the toothed leaf right here. Looks like a heart shape with teeth on it. And let's go straight to the plant. I don't have seeds of the Persian speedwell. Okay, but this is a much better view of the plant. See if I can get that picture to stop. Okay, so you should be, if you look at that, you can see the teeth pretty predominantly, and look at the hairs on the leaf. If you feel it, you can feel those as well, but again, they're kind of a little elongate, like a heart shape with teeth on it. Okay, and again, it stays very low to the ground. And if you look at this, the leaves are opposite from each other. Okay, and then they turn the other way the next time and are going the other way, just like we saw with henbit when we studied that. Okay, so that's weed number 2. Oops. Okay, weed number 3 is black medic. And I'm just going to bring a couple of these things over here. Okay, and black medic is number 33 on your list. and it is on page 334 in your text. Okay, notice it is in the clover family. I just have to switch my page over here to get to my notes. Okay, so this is a perennial. It spreads by seeds and stolons. And I'll put the name at the top here, so black medic. If you were to see it in flower out in the field, this is what it would look like. We have it a lot in the turf grass area. Grows pretty low. Okay, since it's a perennial, it's already creeping out there. I don't have any flowers yet, but it is creeping around. So it's going to be a very low trailing perennial spreading by seeds and stolons. Okay, notice my leaves are compound with 3 lobes, 3 oval-shaped leaflets. Okay, and they have prominent veins on them. If we can, let's look at this right here with the flowers on it. Oh, sorry about the light. Okay, so it's got yellow flowers that come at the ends of or in the axils of the leaves, and you can see the fruits there on page 335. Okay, they're very hairy, and then when they actually dehiss, they become and dry up. They actually are black, and you can see they're rough on the outside edges there as well. Let me see what else I need to. The seeds, even when they become mature, have fine hairs on them. Okay, so let me, whoops, I just dropped the picture, sorry about that. All right, so let's look at the mount on this particular one. And this is what it would look like in the field. If I can lift it up a little bit, that's better. Okay, and the stem can, when it gets older, it can be a little more brownish. It can get a little bit woody, but predominantly it's going to be green and have lots of little, you can see the trifoliate leaves, and I've got flowers every place where I've got a trifoliate leaf. And right now, out there, this is what it looks like. Okay, so it's spreading. There aren't any flowers in any of the axils. Again, you can see how this would be spreading by stolons as well as seed. Okay, so small right now, it can get bigger later. That's black medic. And I think I do have some seeds, don't I? Yeah. Okay, the seeds, one of our students thinks the seeds looks like pepper flakes. Okay, these are about a 1/16 of an inch in diameter. Okay, notice they're reddish brown. If I put oh, look at my poor finger. I got lots of cuticle problems here. But look at the seeds, very reddish brown, small. And I don't think there's anything else that I told you about the seeds themselves. Okay, so that was weed number 3. Weed number 4 is yarrow. Okay, or common yarrow. I'm trying to get one that has a flower on it. I'll just bring one of these over. Okay, so yarrow is number 39 in your weed list, and it's a perennial spread by seeds and rhizomes. It's on page 42 in the textbook. Okay, with yarrow, it's very finely shaped leaf, and one of the other students in here thought it looked a little like birch chervil, but birch chervil has different